What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, and in today's video, going over Week 12's cash and GPP picks. Usually I have separate videos, but I won't, unfortunately, this week, so I'm going to combine them into one video. Quarterback for cash, there's a few names. Drake May at 6,900 if you want to go up for it against Cincinnati, who just lost their, if not their best corner, one of their best corners. Trey Hendrickson still out. Defense just poor, and you get a MVP candidate, one of the best quarterbacks in the league so far this season, in Drake May at 6,900. In a really positive game script. We've kind of seen him slow down the last few weeks from a fantasy perspective, but I still think he's up there. It's a really positive matchup for him, so I think for a safety net, he's kind of the guy to go to. Under that, Jalen Hurts at 6,600 on the road against Dallas. We already know how bad Dallas's secondary is, how bad their defense is. The one thing I will mention is Philly is dealing with some offensive line injuries. They're going to be down 2 starting offensive linemen against a Dallas defensive line that is, I'm going to say good. If no one else will say it, I'll say it. They have a really good defensive line. So I am concerned with that front. But obviously Jalen Hurts is very cheap. He has the tush-push upside. We saw him in week 1 get 24 points, and that was at a 7,100 price tag. Now he's 6,600. Getting there for the cheapest that we can get Jalen Hurts for a guy that is got the rushing touchdown upside, right? It's a tush-push, but it counts as a rushing touchdown, obviously. So 6,600, yes, Jalen Hurts is in there for me as well. And then we get to some of the cheaper quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is somebody worth mentioning at 5,100, but I'm looking at Jacoby Brissett at 5,300 in that same matchup. Jacksonville dealing with some injuries. Walker is out. 2 of their corners kind of banged up. We'll see if they play, if they don't play. So at 5,300, I think Jacoby Brissett yet again is a cash play. And probably one of the better ones that we're getting, even with Marvin Harrison ruled out. Game just seems really well. Arizona's at home, and it's really easy to stack Jacoby Brissett with Michael Wilson and Trey McBride again this week. So going on to like tournaments, where I kind of like it. Lamar Jackson, 6,700 at home against the Jets. Just a positive matchup for him. They're huge favorites, 10-plus point favorites in this one. And they're at home. Lamar Jackson just coming off, one of the worst fantasy games he's going to have. So I like the bounce back spot here. It's 6,700. I think it's a really good one. Obviously, watching Joe Burrow to see if he plays or not. If he plays, I don't love it with Jamar Chase out. But you still have T. Higgins. You still have someone that Joe Burrow's utilized in Chase Brown. We'll see Yosivas kind of be used. Noah Fant, those guys seen uptick. But we'll definitely check the status. Obviously, Joe Flacco's still going to air it out too, so worth mentioning there. I will mention Dak Prescott. Philly's defense has been amazing. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. Held Dak to 7.8 in that game. I think a lot of people are going to look at that and Philly's 2 most recent games. But I'm going to go with this is a must-win for Dallas in this spot. If they can knock off Philly, I think it's a huge momentum boost going forward. So I am going to mention Dak Prescott at 6,400. He's going to have his weapons in this game, and it's very stackable as well. So, yes, it makes all the sense in the world to play Jalen Hurts, and people are going to play Jalen Hurts, but I want to get some pieces on the other side as well. So Dak Prescott at 6,400, very high total in that one. They're home, so I'm going to take the chance that Dak Prescott has a 20-plus point performance game, which I do think he's very easily capable of doing in that matchup. Jared Goff at 6K. I love Detroit's offense. The one thing I will mention when talking Detroit's offense is watch their injuries. Their offensive line, the practice report was crazy. All we're really doing is to make sure they're good. I truly don't know who's going to be in and who's going to be out for Detroit's offense. On a non-kind of fantasy thing, watch Detroit's defense. They're already down 2 of their best secondary pieces, but they have some pieces possibly returning from the IR, so check Detroit's defense as well. It could have implications, but Jared Goff at home, I mean, you can look at the numbers. He's got a 3 basically 3.5 point uptick in home games this season. So definitely like that at a 6K price tag against a Giants defense without Thibodeau. Debo is going to be out again, looks like. So yeah, stacking Jared Goff with Gibbs, Amon-Ra, JMO is kind of the way I'm looking at it again this week. I will mention Caleb Williams and whoever the Pittsburgh quarterback is, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph does get. We'll talk about Pittsburgh here in just a second, but Caleb Williams 5,700 at home against Pittsburgh. Caleb Williams, I mean, yeah, kind of the same thing as Jared Goff in a way. Only a 2.3 kind of bump being at home versus on the road. But yeah, Caleb Williams, all depends on how the run game looks for the Bears. We've seen some times where the run game looks really well, and the pass game definitely benefits, and then the run game struggles, and the pass game struggles as well. So against this Pittsburgh defense, where their defense has played better, but I still don't think they're top tier. They have some injuries there as well to watch out for. Caleb Williams is just cheap. He's a quarterback that's, if he's under 6K every week, I definitely think he's playable regardless of the matchup. Unless you're facing an elite like Denver or Houston defense, I think he's easily playable. So Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. If Mason Rudolph ends up being the starting quarterback, we'll see how that goes. Aaron Rodgers was kind of limited at practice, but Mason Rudolph at 4,700 against the Bears. And my Bears are down all our linebackers. We're down 3 linebackers. I'm watching for the defensive back injuries, right? Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Brisker. We're watching that, and if they're not in that game because the Bears are in a short week after this game, I'm going to love Mason Rudolph at 4,700 against a very depleted Bears secondary, or just defense in general, but could be a secondary. So really love Mason Rudolph at 4,700. I still like Aaron Rodgers, don't get me wrong. If Aaron Rodgers ends up being the quarterback, I think they're going to try to run the ball more. I do think that. And they're probably going to have a lot of success against the Bears. But at 4,700, I think it's a great price there. Jameis Winston, 4,600. Yet again, he's same price that he was last week. I think it's a better matchup for him against Detroit. Detroit plays better at home. But if you're banking on the fact that Detroit is going to run up the score against the Giants, that means the Giants aren't going to do what they did last week with Jameis. They ran the ball a lot. They used Singletary and Tyrone Tracy a lot in that game. So 4,600, I don't think it's crazy to say that Jameis can get 20 plus points in this one. I don't think it's crazy at all, right? 29 pass attempts out of Jameis Winston is crazy, right? He should easily be getting 35 plus in this matchup. So yeah, I like him to throw over 200 yards and easily get 2 passing touchdowns in this one, especially with Detroit's secondary injuries. Definitely like that one. So moving on to running back. In cash, Jahmyr Gibbs at 8,300 seems like a very amazing play. It's the same reason I like Josh Jacobs last week. Josh Jacobs got 4 points, but you go and look at a guy that's possibly cash playable this week, Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson got 13.9. So really good game out of him. Obviously, if you combine them, it's even better. But Jahmyr Gibbs has been on a roll lately. 63 points in the last 2 games. It's a great number to have for somebody in a very positive game script. You kind of look at the volume too, and it's not saying David Montgomery's just not being used, because he is. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the premium back for them. So at 8,300, I definitely like that one quite a bit. Seeing that Baltimore, we'll come back to him. Well, I really want to mention him. I kind of think the running back cash pool is small, so we'll go back to him. Jaylen Warren at 6,600. I think this is a really good medium price for a running back. Obviously, had the injury, kind of left. Kenneth Gainwell smash. But Jaylen Warren was having a really good game. 10 for 62, 2 receptions for 5 yards. Like, he was having a good game until the injury, and then they took him out, and Kenneth Gainwell absolutely smashed in that spot. And like I said, Bears have all 3 linebackers out, could deal with some secondary issues. gonna like Pittsburgh's run game in this one, but even then, I think the receiving part of it for Jaylen Warren is definitely an uptick in this one. So I definitely like Jaylen Warren in this matchup. Chase Brown is going to be cash playable again just because of the volume he's going to get, especially with Jamar Chase out. Seen him the last 4 weeks. Chase Brown's floor has been 15 points. So at 6,200, he's going to be clicked on quite a bit in cash. So it's got to be worth mentioning Chase Brown. We go cheaper. Yeah, we're looking for some injuries. There's definitely some injury news to watch out for. If Josh Jacobs is out, Emmanuel Wilson at 5,300 definitely becomes a pretty solid cash play. It's not the greatest matchup against Minnesota, but we figure Emmanuel Wilson to get a bulk of the running back work in that game. So definitely like him in that one. So going to be targeting that one. Obviously, if Ken Walker is out, Zach Charbonnet at 4,900 then would be an amazing play, but I expect Ken Walker to play. But we'll see how that goes. Now in tournaments, Derrick Henry at 7,600. When you're that much of a favorite, Derrick Henry, we're getting into that colder time of the year. But Derrick Henry against, if not the best, then one of the best run defenses in Cleveland. And he destroyed him 18 for 103 and a touchdown. Got some receiving work too, which we don't normally see in this Baltimore offense. With Derrick Henry, usually you're going to go to Justice Hill or now Keaton Mitchell. And Derrick Henry is just not usually that guy. This is what you look for is the 100-yard bonus and 2 touchdowns, right? You're looking for 25 points, and that's getting 100 yards, 100-yard bonus, which puts you at, at least 13. And then 2 touchdowns, 25 points. It's what you're expecting out of Derrick Henry. And it's very possible against this Jets defense. Against Cleveland, the Jets just got special teams, defense, all that stuff to go their way. Saquon, I would like Saquon, but like I mentioned, this Dallas defense, I don't think their defensive line is that bad. The offensive line injuries, week 1, only 18.4, and I'm sorry, but DraftKings still has Saquon priced a little too high for what he's done lately. Moving on, ETN is definitely interesting at 5,900. He's been pretty consistent in the last 3 weeks, right? The reason we like Chase Brown is he's gotten volume, and that's what Travis Etienne's got in the last 3 weeks, right? He's not priced high either. For a guy that's gotten 15 plus in the last 3 weeks, like, I'm fine with doing that, right? Like, if you want to do a coin toss and go Etienne or Chase Brown, like, both of those are very possible in this one. And if you want to pivot off of Chase Brown and go Etienne, then I'm perfectly fine with that one. Especially in a healthy game that one is going to be, or should be. It looks like on paper it will be. Definitely like Etienne in that matchup. David Montgomery. Yet again, if people are going to click Emmanuel Wilson in cash, look for David Montgomery in tournaments. I think it's a really, really good bounce back opportunity for David Montgomery. I think the only recent disappointing game out of David Montgomery was the game against Washington. He's still 15 for 71, got you 10 points in that one. If he gets you a touchdown, he puts you at 16, and you're not that disappointed then if he does that. I think it's very possible he gets you 15 plus in this matchup. Hasn't really gotten a lot of red zone work either lately. I definitely like, if you like Jahmyr Gibbs, you should also like David Montgomery, right? And he's at a very, very cheap price. So, worth mentioning for that. Other than that, like I said, it's just injury dependent. We like Travion Henderson, but Ramondre is back. It seems like Ramondre is going to be back. I believe that's what they said, is him and Boutte are going to be good to go. Nothing's official. Quinshon Judkins, yet again, I love Quinshon Judkins. It's just they have not played good, and with Shador being the quarterback, probably not going to be the best thing. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra at 8K in cash. In an amazing spot. Like I said, Adebo's out. Just saw Amon-Ra come after 2 for 12 type of performance against Philly. Now gets an amazing matchup against the Giants. Definitely like getting that piece in this one. We'll mention Rashee Rice against Indy. I don't entirely love it. I don't entirely love it, but he's going to be a consistent volume guy. Isaiah Pacheco's out. I don't think the run game is going to work for Kansas City. I think it's going to have to go through the air. So at a very cheap 7,700, in my opinion, for someone like Rashee Rice in this matchup, I love it. I love it. If Indy can score and Kansas City could score, it's going to be an amazing game. Obviously, Indy got sauce for a reason to help their pass defense. Kansas City's defense has been playing some pretty good football a good amount of the time. Not every time, but a good amount of the time they've been playing some good football. If that offense can get to clicking, that game should be amazing. Can't wait to see what that looks like. But T. Higgins, I didn't like T. Higgins for the price. He's priced $1,100 more than he was last week, and that's because Jamar Chase is out. So you figured him to get a majority of the work. If Joe Burrow's in, then I like getting T. Higgins. If it's Joe Flacco, I still like Higgins, but I prefer Burrow supporting Higgins and Flacco. If you're looking for a stack piece for Drake May, Stephon Diggs at 6,500. Chris Olave, Atlanta secondary was banged up last week, and we saw Ted McMillan. I don't love Tyler Shook being the quarterback for Chris Olave. I miss the Spencer Rattler days, but there's no Shaheed. Brandon Cooks is gone. The wide receiver room is Vele, and can't remember after that. So Chris Olave at 6,400. I really do like him in this week. One thing we saw Atlanta do when they played Miami is they got beat. They got beat by Jalen Waddle a little bit. Kirk Cousins did not play good in that one. Now you get a similar-esque matchup, so I do really like Chris Olave this week in cash. He's expensive, I get it, but still. The Philly boys, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, both seem pretty damn good spots against this Dallas secondary. I think I like Devontae more in this matchup, but the prices are just too damn good for the Philly pass catcher, so really do like them. I think it's very easy to double stack Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and still have a Dallas run back if you wanted to go that route this week. J-Mo at 5,700. I think he's in a really good spot since Dan Campbell has officially announced that he's taking over play calling. We've seen J-Mo be used again finally. We were waiting, right? Got the 21 against my Bears. Sucks. Damn. But 6.6, 6.3, 5.7, 2. Another good game against Kansas City. And then a whopping 0. And then he's been solid since then. So only goes up $100. Granted, showdown price, but still $100 compared to what it would be, I guess, on a main slate. Wan'Dale Robinson, like I mentioned, Detroit is dealing with some secondary injuries. I still think Detroit is going to play the run good. If the Giants are going to be competitive in this one, they're going to pass. This could be the Wan'Dale week. This could be the Wan'Dale week where he goes off for 15 plus. I don't like that they didn't price him down at all. But eventually, one of these weeks, he's going to pop off. It has to happen. He's going to get you 15 plus. You just don't know when. The last 4 weeks seems like it could have been there. But the yardage has not been there. Has not gotten a touchdown. This is definitely a bounce back. Really good spot for Wan'Dale in this one. Now, we get to some of the names you've been waiting for. Michael Wilson at 4,800. I mean, this should just be enough right there. 18 targets, 15 for 185 for Michael Wilson. Mind you, he's 416 yards on the season. He basically got half of what he's gotten all season in that game. Kind of the same thing for receptions. Got about, what? Little less than 33% of his receptions there. Marvin's already ruled out. We know that. Arizona, Demon Cardo, I think, is out too for the running back. So, Trayvon Walker's out. That helps the pass game, right? Less pressure. Could deal with some secondary injuries for Jacksonville. So, yeah, Michael Wilson's in a really good spot again this week. Jacoby Myers on the other side is a good stack piece to go. Saw last week at 4.6. Now he's 4.7. Get 11.4. So you're hoping for another solid game out of Jacoby Myers. And then if you want to go a Yossi Voss at 4,100, I get it. I understand. I'm not going to argue. I get it. I do. But I will mention, and this is, whether you want to be mad at me for saying this or not, I'm going to mention them. We're going to go down to some Jets wide receivers. John Mechie at 3,300 and Ian Mitchell at 3,200. Mitchell's pretty damn close to having a big play in that game. We know what Baltimore's defense has been, although it's not pretty at all. But for the price point that you're getting them and the volume they're probably going to get with Tyrod now being their quarterback, yes, John Mechie and Ian Mitchell, both those guys, I think are definitely worth targeting in cash. If you want to go someone like Hodgins as well, his first game, 10.7 with the Giants. He's going to be on the field. Darius Slayton's going to be back, though, so that is concerning. But I definitely think he's worth looking at. In tournaments, yeah, if you want to go JSN and pay that $9K price point against Tennessee, where he might not be needed as much, go for it. It's a great matchup for him. Not trying to turn you away from him. It's just the price point and just Seattle's defense possibly doing what they do best and just shut down opposing offenses and just pace the game. CeeDee Lamb, yeah, I like Dak in tournaments, so I'm going to like CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to like George Pickens for that as well. Continue to go down. Rome Odunze. I like Caleb Williams. I like Rome Odunze. They're a good pair to have. Good matchup for him, in my opinion, against that Pittsburgh secondary, so definitely think it's worth mentioning and worth targeting. DK Metcalf. 5,300 for DK Metcalf. 15 targets in his last 2 games. Yet again, something's going to click here soon. And I think this could be a game where it happens, right? Obviously, we're watching the Bears' secondary injuries to see what happens. But I think it's worth mentioning. Kayshon Boutte, 5K, returning. Was a solid staple piece for Drake May. 4 touchdowns in 3 games that he played for him. So I think getting Booty back is a good thing. So I definitely think it's worth mentioning. Darnell Mooney at 4,800. Yet again, the reason it's a tournament, he has done nothing. And when I say he, I don't mean he. I mean the quarterback play has been terrible for Darnell Mooney. Terrible. Just terrible. I'm tired of saying it. I love Darnell Mooney. Get him a good quarterback. This man's special. He's losing years on mediocre quarterback play. Get him someone special. No Drake London. Kirk Cousins is his quarterback. Do with that as you will, right? Week 8 against Miami. 1 for 11 for Darnell Mooney. And he's 4,800. So, yeah. Yeah. Don't love it at all. Darius Slayton, 4,500. Yet again, putting him in my pool. Greg Dortch, 4,300. Putting him in my pool. Matt Collins, 4,200. I get Booty's back. Demario Douglas, I get it. I get it. It's tournament play. I think with Booty being back, it hurts Matt Collins. But, I mean, he's 3 of his last 4. It's been pretty damn good. Yeah, so. Cedric Tillman, 3,700. I mean, the matchup is just good for him. It's just all depending on what Shador does in that one. Calvin Austin, same thing. Don't know who the quarterback is, but love the matchup in that one. So yeah, other than that, a lot of these guys are just punts, but I did want to mention the 2 Jets receivers as being guys you should look at in cash if you're looking for an extreme paydown. Trey McBride for tight ends at 6,800. Looks really good. Other than that, I'm going to throw out 2, possibly 3 other names. Kyle Pitts, no Drake London against the Saints at 4,300. Hunter Henry, 3,900 against the Bengals. Have not seen some good Hunter Henry play in a while. Have not seen it. Against the Cincinnati defense, it's a really good price to stack Hunter Henry with Drake May. So love that matchup. Mark Andrews, 3,800. Been putting some pretty damn good games together lately. No Rashard Bateman again for Baltimore, so I do like Mark Andrews quite a bit in this one. Other than that, if you want to say Noah Fant, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm really not. I'm fine with saying Noah Fant. So, tournaments, yeah, Brock Bowers against Cleveland. I don't love it. Mark Andrews just had a good game, so we have to mention it. Travis Kelce against the Colts. Travis Kelce, we were kind of worried that Rashee Rice we're going to see Travis Kelce just plummet again, but that hasn't happened. 2 of his last 3 games, 20 plus. So maybe it's a good thing that Rashee Rice is there, right? For Travis Kelce's sake. Obviously, for Patrick Mahomes and your fantasy teams, it's good Rashee Rice is there, but maybe Travis Kelce's 5K again. Didn't think we'd see that. But yeah, worth mentioning. Dallas Goedert, 4,200. Yet again, I think he's just a good, cheap stacking piece with Jalen Hurts, so he's worth mentioning. Would love to say Chig. Would love to say Chig. And I'm going to say Chig because of the wide receiver injuries for Tennessee. I'm going to say Chig Okonkwo. Colston Loveland at 3,500. Cole Kmet got used last game, but Loveland's putting some pretty solid, consistent games up lately, so I think he's worth mentioning against a Pittsburgh defense who's dealing with some injuries, so we'll say that. I will mention Brenton Strange. Watch this. If he plays, I think it's a fair price at 3,400. Hunter Long is going to be out, so watch that one. See if he plays, see if he doesn't. I mentioned Noah Fant. I think Brock Wright at 3K is also worth mentioning. 7 targets out of him in that one against Philly. Now he gets a little bit of a better matchup against the Giants, so at 3K, I'm fine with punting out Brock Wright. Moving to defenses, if you want to play Seattle and pay up for 4K for the Seattle against Tennessee, fully understand. Other than that, I'm looking at the Browns against Vegas at 2,900, or I'm kind of looking at the Saints at 2,500. So let's put together a build. I'm going to do a Detroit build. I really like Detroit this week. Let's see what we can come up with. Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to put Amon-Ra as well. And let's see if we could build up with McBride. We can. We'll find a way. We'll easily find a way. So defenses, we're going to pay down. If we're paying down for a defense, I really want to say the Colts. I really, really, really want to say the Colts defense. But I'm going to go the Saints. At running back, let's just say Emmanuel Wilson, make it easier on ourselves. Wide receivers, I'm like I said, I'm able to pay down. I'm going to pay down. Let's go Adonai Mitchell, 3,200. Wide receiver, it's pretty easy as well. Michael Wilson. We got 5,100 for a flex. No. Kind of none of those names. Does 52 open us up? Not really. Parker Washington. I mean, can we go off the Saints any farther for someone I like? Yeah, the Colts don't allow us to do much. I want to say, I don't want to do Mooney. What if we switch out Michael Wilson and we put in Jacoby Myers, and that puts us 53. So we could throw like a DK Metcalf in, or we could double stack Detroit running backs and just say they have 40 plus. 13. Yeah, 40 plus for Detroit running backs. Or we go something like a DK Metcalf against the Bears if they're dealing with some secondary issues. So, yeah, just an example lineup that I like. Getting this Detroit stack, getting Trey McBride in there as well. So, and then getting the Colts defense against Chiefs. So, yeah, interesting there. So, yet again, just an example. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Yet again, I apologize if you're looking for separate videos. My schedule is just not going to work out for it. So, I do apologize in advance. Next week, I will have a full slate of videos going back again, and that's with the Thanksgiving slate. So if you guys are interested, check that one out. I'll see you guys in the next one.